And Jamie, it's worse if I leave him out because he'll just break in and be crazy. So I usually just let him be crazy and then he'll leave us alone. So I'm sorry. We'll see. Are we in? Hi. Hi, are we live? I think we're live. Let me check my phone. If anybody is with us live, can you chat? Hashtag live. I'm here. I'm going to pull up my phone so I can see the chat box. Hi. Happy Tremendous Tuesday. The show is back from a mini vacation hiatus. Ashley's here. Hi, beautiful. We see you. Thank you for chatting. Can you hear us well, Ashley? Can you see us and hear us? Ashley's here. Cool. And I have the absolute honor and pleasure to chat with beautiful Jamie here. And y'all, if you're with us live or on the replay, and get in the comments right now if you're on the replay, hashtag replay. Ashley, oh, okay, Ashley says she hears us. Thanks, love. Jamie is an absolute powerhouse. I have known Jamie a couple of years and we were just talking about it. We feel like we've been friends forever. So, hi, Claudia, we see you, babe. And she is a best-selling author of her book, Speak Up, Sister. She has years of experience in the corporate realm, helping women in male-dominated industries step into leadership without people-pleasing, perfectionism, or seeking validation. Not only that, but she is a heavy hitter in the keynote public speaking space. So her being here with us today is an absolute privilege. Please shower her with some love in the comments right now. Thank her for her time. And let's get into this juicy discussion. Oh, Cheryl, I have to kick you out. My bad. Hey, Cheryl, can you head into Facebook? I don't know how you got into the Zoom. My bad, sis. Sometimes that stuff happens. Hi. Hi, Jamie. Without further ado, would you mind just quickly introducing yourself and sharing how you got into coaching in the first place, my dear?
Yes, I would love to. And before that, Tiffany, I just want to say the girl crush here is the feeling is very mutual. Like you said, it's been about two or 3 years since you and I have known each other. We crossed paths in the business, building our businesses realm. And I was immediately impressed by your ability to dive in, to have confidence, to lead with your authentic self, to empower others. And I've got goosebumps right now because I'm so excited to spend this time with you here in this capacity. And you and I, what I also appreciate is that we have the type of relationship where we can text each other, without a scheduled appointment. And like I remember talking to you one time, I was sitting in a parking lot outside of Dollar Tree. I was picking up some office supplies, and so I greatly appreciate being in your presence, and I'm honored to spend this time with you and your wonderful audience today. Thank you.
Thank you, dear. Yeah, I've had many conversations with you too, like fresh out the gym, like what's going on? Boys pop here and there. Oh, and Jamie, when we met, we were supposed to meet at an event. And I remember because I was fresh out my corporate experience and you were coaching the corporate realm. And it was like, that's why I felt like our synergy was so potent at the time. And can you just share a little bit about the audience, why you work specifically with women in like corporations, the STEM industry, tech? Can you share a little bit about that and how you got into that?
Absolutely. Well, I was a big part of it for a long time. Today, as a coach, as a keynote speaker, as an author, all the things that you said, my mission is to empower women to ditch doubts, to speak up, and to achieve the careers that they deserve and desire. I spent 10 years in the automotive refinish industry, and then about that same amount of time in the energy industry, male dominated, of course, STEM industries. And especially when I was in automotive refinish, I learned a lot of lessons. Many of them I learned the hard way until I figured out a few things. And then I started to learn them the better way. And then when I transitioned industries, I started to have other women notice that I was advancing my career, earning promotions, increasing my salary, and saying to me, "Hey, how are you doing this?" And I always thought, well, I'm so glad you asked, because once I cracked the confidence code, I mean, that was a big piece. That was a big missing piece that I learned while I was in automotive. I learned that this is something that everybody needs to know. And when you are centered in your confidence, you have no trouble sharing it with others. It's not a secret. It's something that the more you have and the more you share, the bigger it gets.
Mm.
It's a lot of fun what I do, because now I work with women in the corporate space who are in the same boardroom meetings out in the field. I joke that my stilettos have steel toes, which comes from a smart aleck comment that a guy out on a rig, out on an oil rig, made to me one day. But it can be a very challenging environment, and when you lack that self-confidence, when you're leading with insecurities, or when your fears are the things that are talking the loudest in your head, the brilliance that you have inside struggles to come out. When you flip that, however, and that brilliance starts to come out, that changes everything.
Oh, I completely agree. And thank you for sharing that about like speaking your truth and climbing up the ladder and being seen in the automotive space. And, my dad owns his own mechanic shop, and I totally identify with what you're saying. And I just want to let you know your sister's here. Hi, Sally.
Hi, Bill.
So cool.
I can't. I don't have eyes on the comments, so thank you for passing that along.
Yeah. The chat is blowing up. And y'all, if you can relate or identify with any part of Jamie's story, please be seen in that and just share your experience and what it's like, feeling like you can't speak up, you can't be confident, you can't ask for the raise in any type of industry, right? And I think you bring up, or I know you bring up a really good point here, Jamie, with other women are like, how are you doing it? Like, how'd you get that promotion? How'd you get seen? And I'd love if you could, Jamie, just expand that a little bit. Like, why do women feel like, as a collective, like, why do we feel like we can't be seen? Like, why can't we ask for the raise? Why can't we go for the promotion? Like, what's that all about?
Yeah. So something, it's funny. One of my clients actually quoted me on this the other day. She said, I've got the Post-it note right here, Jamie. It says, I can change my circumstances, or I can change my mind, right? In any situation. And I'll say that again, you've always got the choice. You can change your circumstances, or you can change your mind, your mindset. And yeah, get it, girl. And when you welcome in that idea, changing your circumstances can take a little time. That can be a little tricky unless you're going to be the dramatic one, or the one who's prepared to just walk out, which most people are not. But when you can change your mindset and walk into a meeting, for example, and instead of focusing on how you're different, or why maybe you don't belong, or if we're playing the game, which of these things is not like the others, why you stick out, that's the energy that you're going to lead with. And that's very fear-based. That's playing into a lot of intimidation. However, if you can walk into that meeting centered in your strengths, which is maybe something we should also touch on, and you can, instead of focusing on I'm the only female in the room, if you can say to yourself, I'm an important member of this team. I come to the table with this amount of expertise. I add value in this way. I'm like my team members because we have a shared goal of success in the company, or success with this client, or success with this project. Notice how your mindset is instantly shifting, and so too is your energy, because every cell in your body, the actions that you're taking is eavesdropping on your thoughts. Every cell is eavesdropping on your thoughts, and your thoughts are completely up to you. So when you can flip your mindset and start to welcome in ideas and thoughts that are helping you instead of sabotaging you, your results will be completely different. I have a client, I'm gonna give her a shout out. Her name's Erica. She works in manufacturing. Yeah, what's up, Erica?
Hi.
She works in manufacturing, and she went through my full coaching program, and she emailed me one day and she said, get this. She said, I was in a meeting myself, and 7 men. And she said, Jamie, it was a good 2 hours before it even occurred to me after that meeting that I was the only woman in the room. And I said, great. And what was your performance like in there? And she said, stellar. She owned it. So be very mindful of what you're focusing on, because your energy is going to follow, and what you focus on is 100% up to you.
Ooh, where energy goes, energy flows. And can we unpack this one step forward? If anyone can write this in the chat, you can change your circumstances and you also can change your mindset. I think that's a really big takeaway. And I'd really love if anyone has rapid fire fingers to write that in because I'm with Jamie on Zoom. I think this is such a big point, Jamie. And if I may, I remember being the only woman on a sales team in Boston when I sold health and benefits. There was 45 men on the team.
Mm-hmm.
Every single man was in their 40s and 50s, so they had the salt and pepper hair. I
Mm-hmm.
was 25 with
Yep.
metal braces. Y'all, I had metal braces and I had to go to big Fortune 500 companies and tell them why to hire us as a broker. And I remember exactly like you're saying, Jamie, no one taught me how to be confident. No one
Mm-mm.
taught me how to take up space in a conference room. I
Mm-hmm.
actually had to hire a coach, and we won't get into that, and maybe we will, Jamie. Like corporations don't have, or at least in my experience, they didn't have like the personal development realm
Right.
for me to
Mm-hmm.
step into my leadership. I always felt unnoticed, unseen. These guys
Mm-hmm.
were taking clients to the golf course, and I'm like, I played field hockey. I have no idea how to play golf. It sounds boring. They're closing these big deals on the golf course. So what I did, Jamie, was pretend to like golf, bought like these $400 clubs. And no disrespect to anyone that likes golf. Hallelujah to you. I don't like it. Just don't. But I like tricked myself to believe I had to like golf to perform business. And it wasn't until exactly like you're saying, Jamie, I had to center on my strengths instead of comparing myself and coercing myself to like something I didn't like.
Mm-hmm.
And I started really propelling in my career when I just stopped pretending to like golf or be a guy. I was like,
Yeah.
no, I'm a
Right.
25-year-old little lady with braces that played field hockey in college. If we can relate there all day long. And that's when people were like buying from me left and right. Like, and I'm just identifying. Can anybody else relate to that? I'd love for you guys to just chat with us in the chat. I'm going to pull up my chat in a second. It just froze again. Because it wasn't until I personally changed my mindset that I deserve to be in the room, I deserve to share my story, and I deserve not to pretend to like golf. That's when
Mm-hmm.
my career really took off. Okay, yeah, hold on, Jamie. We got some chats coming in.
Well, and if I make Tiffany, what you also have is you have insatiable curiosity. And
Mm,
my take on what you did was you flipped your own narrative, which is a term I use a lot in my coaching program. I'm with you. Like golf, I can take it or leave it. However, what I care about and what you care about is what your clients and your customers are interested in. And so
yes.
my hunch is that when you shifted your focus from I couldn't care less about golf, even going to the extent of buying $400 golf clubs, but you shifted it to, but I do care about what you care about. And I know, like, I don't care about NASCAR. I don't care about hunting. I don't care about a variety of other things that were very common topics in automotive. However, I enjoyed feeling the energy of someone talking about something that they were passionate about. And so that helped me shift my own focus to say, do I really want to know the details of, the deer that you went to go get this weekend? No. However, I love seeing somebody's energy light up. I love seeing someone in the space where they're so excited to be talking and, time doesn't have any dimensions, and that's creating connection and that's creating trust. And so that's how I, in my career, and it sounds like you did a very similar thing, earned success. That, am I going to be the one that's going to go golf with you or hunt with you?
Yeah.
Absolutely not. However, I'd love to hear about it because it gets you excited. And now we're going to transition to some business related things, but let's get on the same page with that and honor the space for you to be your authentic self so I can be authentic.
Yes. Jimmy, I come to the wall, it lights me up. Yes, because curiosity and thought-provoking questions is really how I made sales. It was quality
Yep.
conversation. They felt seen. They didn't feel like I was this, for me personally, y'all, I'm just sharing personally, and I'm gonna read some stories here. I wasn't like this egomaniac, like, yeah, check out my golf stats. And no, with love, that's what my colleagues were doing. They were like, look at my golf, look at my new Mercedes. And I'm like rolling up with a little Toyota. But exactly like you're saying, Jamie, I was curious and I love business. I love performance. I love asking questions. And for anybody in the chat, Claudia, I saw you were taking notes. Thank you for that, love. I love if anyone could please write this. Jamie, I think you said questions cultivate conversations.
What did I say? Curiosity, leading with curiosity will guide you to good questions, which cultivate trust.
Cultivate. Okay, thank you. Cultivate. Can
Mhm.
anyone write that? Curiosity cultivates trust. I know there's a lot of Q's and C's there. I like that. Oh, curiosity cultivates trust. And I want to empower everyone. Like, it's totally okay to ask questions. This is how we get to know people and build trust, just like Jamie's saying. So if you're in a conference room or if you're a coach and you're selling one-on-one, the best way to build trust is to ask questions and get in that person's world, understand them.
Mhm.
Oh, Arak's here. Hi, babe. Michelle's here. Okay, hold on, Jamie. Let me just pause for a second. Cheryl, do you believe that you could be in the wrong place at the wrong time, that maybe what might be perceived as insecurity is really just an intuition? Oh, okay, Cheryl, this is a question. Jamie, do you want me to save this question until the end and keep rolling, or do you want to address this now? Wrong time, wrong place, insecurity.
I'm not sure I totally understand the question.
Yeah, Cheryl, can you rephrase that, babe? Are you asking more about insecurity and intuition together? Please elaborate, babe. I want to make sure we can answer that for you.
Yeah, maybe elaborate on that. We can come back to it.
Yeah, let's do that. Yeah, thank you guys for engaging in the chat and writing this. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, and we'll get to questions in just a few minutes. Thank you. So then Jamie, can you, if you can, with the people pleasing and the perfectionism, right? Because I know that's a lot of your work. And as a recovering people pleaser and perfectionist myself, and anybody
Mhm.
else who's in recovery from the people pleasing perfectionist trap, heyo, we see you.
It's a daily commitment.
It's a daily, literally like the gym, got to work it out. Jamie, with love, like, how can we release ourselves from that?
Hmm.
Whether we're coaches, whether we're consultants or trying to climb the corporate ladder, like, how can we just dissipate those feelings of people pleasing and perfectionism? What would you leave us with that?
Yes. So one thing is to not fight them, to not say, I'm not going to be the perfectionist. I'm not going to be the people pleaser. I mean, you can try that, but anytime you're using the word or using the language, it's drawing some energy to it. So what you can do instead is I had another client who came to me and she said, my goal is to eliminate self-doubt. And I said, love the goal. However, eliminating self-doubt is not an achievable goal. Everybody has self-doubt, no matter how confident we are. I mean, confidence is not a static state, it's a dynamic state, as is self-doubt. Both will ebb and flow. What you can do, though, and where you can be particularly empowered, is to change your relationship with self-doubt, with people-pleasing, with perfectionism, with overthinking. And when you change your relationship, and this theme of curiosity is coming up again, and you get curious about it, what I invite you to do is the next time you feel that resistance or your overthinker starts to take over, and we know, right? Like we know when that's happening and we're starting to get into the tailspin, call it out and say, you can give it a name if you want, or just simply the vocabulary. Having the label is very important and it's very powerful and it's impactful to say, okay, there's my overthinker. There's my overthinker. Now, do I want her to be in charge, or what would authentic, curious me think right now? And when you can ask yourself those questions and create that objectivity, hopefully it at least gives you a couple of choices. And then with your own discernment, you can step into action that you want to say, oh, yeah, I'm going to let the overthinker win, which most of us are not going to say, right? We're going to say, nope, here's what authentic me wants to do. Here's what curious me wants to do. And then here's where the discipline comes in. And like you said, Tiffany, going to the gym, step into an action. It does not matter what size the action is. Step into an action, big or small, that honors the direction that you want to go. And Martin Luther King has such a phenomenal quote that I always like to think about. It's like the cure for imposter syndrome in my opinion, is I don't need to see the whole staircase. I just need to see the next step or two. I don't need to see the whole staircase.
Go ahead.
Put it on a Post-it note. I just need to see the next step or two, because when you get in motion and that momentum, you'll notice that the second that you do that, your overthinker starts to fizzle. Your perfectionist starts to fizzle. The voice that was chirping the self-doubt really loud, it gets quieter. So it's up to you to step into that motion, and you might have to give yourself permission to do that depending on how strong your type A perfectionist tendencies are. And again, recovering perfectionist since 2013, so I totally get where you are. However, you don't need to stay there. And that's the way you do it. Get curious about it, create some objectivity, make a decision, and then step into action.
Jamie, I'm licking my chops over here. So excited. Someone please write that down. To cure the shitty committee. So I have a name for myself now. I just call it the shitty committee because I really envision it's a committee of like every limiting belief, every fear, every traumatic experience I have. It's like that version of me, and she's in my shitty committee, but I also have a litty committee. So kind of
I
like
love it.
all my empowered versions of me are like, you can do it, sis, but I'd like someone to write this in chat. The best way to dissipate the people pleaser perfectionism is not to seek seeing the whole staircase, just asking to see the next step. And having the bravery and courage to damn well take it. Like, dang, girl, just left foot first. Somebody please write that in chat. That is good, Jamie. Even the cat's like, all right, next step, cuddle.
Figaro is on board. I like it.
He's with it. Hi, Nicole. We see you coming in. Okay. Hey, y'all. Now would be about a good time for us to ask questions for beautiful Jamie here. I see you all chatting with each other. Thank you for the camaraderie and thank you for leaning in together. Everyone's chatting with each other. So there's like a lot of chat.
I can't wait to go back and look at this chat. I love the energy. This is very, very Sherohood like.
Yeah. And while everyone is thinking of a question, I'll start us out because I have a question for you, Jamie. Unless there's something else you wanted to add, would it be cool if we jumped into questions?
Sure, go for it.
I have a question from my own experience, right? I left very male-dominated industry. I left my corporate career. I'm about almost 4 years out on my own, leaving corporate. And I have found not only for myself, but I see this for women who want to coach women, mothers. There is, for me, I'll speak from experience. There's almost like this constant competing and comparison that I took with me from corporate into coaching. And I still have a daily reprieve to get away from that. What advice or direction would you give someone like me that still has this heavy layer of corporate conditioning that everything's a competition and I have to compare my sales results to everyone else?
Yeah, and you're on a totally different metric right now. Metric's not even the right word. You're in a totally different playing field.
Yeah.
Well, so with my coaching hat on, Tiffany, I love your question. So you're saying I've got this corporate mindset, right, which is pretty rigid, structured, is driven by metrics. And then you go over to coaching and you can measure it, but the measurement stick is different. So what do you know to be true about yourself as a coach? Like, what does success look like for you in one sentence or less?
Success to me is the ability to selflessly serve without expecting a single thing in return.
Okay. Love it. Selflessly serve without expecting a single thing in return. So is it fair to say that when I'm you, if I get up in the morning and I'm looking at my coaching day and I say to myself, I selflessly serve. I selflessly serve. And I repeat that. And that becomes my mantra. And it's just like a muscle that, let's say you want to strengthen your bicep. You can't just look at your bicep and say nice things to it and maybe put a fashionable sleeve on it. You've got to do what? Flex it, right? So if you are flexing your mindset, and you've got to do this repetitively, we can't just do one curl and go, okay, I'm done. I've got great bicep strength, one curl.
Come on, Jamie, come on.
Repeatedly, I know. Sorry, no magic wand here. I selflessly serve and you continue to step into that, Tiffany, your actions follow. And the more you're leading with that, the less the corporate no, I need to hit a 7.8 today, or whatever, the 97%, the
Yeah.
less you're going to hear that. That's a big thing, that when I start off coaching with any of my clients, they choose their word, their mantra. And in a lot of cases, I just had two ladies say this to me at the end of the 12-week program. They're like, Jamie, I didn't even really fully believe it when I first said it.
Yeah.
But now, not only do I believe it, it's already evolved to this level. And I say, I know you didn't fully believe it, but if you want to believe it, you've got to start practicing it. So Tiffany selflessly serves. And my hunch is that everybody on this call who has known you for even a minute is like, she sure does.
Oh, thank you.
Did you write that on a Post-it note? Write it on a Post-it note, girl. Preferably a neon one.
No word of a lie. I right at the top of my page.
There we go. Highlight
Yeah.
it. Make it big. Get on Etsy and have somebody make you something cool that says it.
Yeah, and thank you for that, Jamie. And I found myself, and we've got questions coming in. Like I had to do a 30 days selfless acts of service challenge because I found myself getting back in the patterns of, like I come from a big corporate career. Every line of activity was tracked, reported in the system, and shown to the team. Like Tiffany had 75 pieces of activity this week. She went on 25 new sales calls, saw 10 new clients, sold 5 accounts, 9.8K. And I'm still like, as long as I've been doing this healing work, like I could still catch myself like tracking my own activity. And I'm like, hey, that ain't it. But exactly like you're saying, Jamie, it's so simple. I overcomplicate it. It's I woke up today to serve selflessly and ask Creator God, the universe, to use me for maximum service. Just let me do that.
And then here's also the difference that's really important is at the end of the day, ask yourself, did I or did I not? Did I selflessly serve today? Yes or no? And then there's your metric. And you can track that and trend that. Did I have more yeses than nos? And that's really a key to building confidence as well. And something that my clients initially they get tripped up on. Well, how do I know if I'm being successful in building my confidence? Well, we assign some specific steps, basically your workout plan for confidence. And then we track at the end of the day, did you or did you not honor that step? And as long as you can say yes, you're trending toward your goal. If you say no, you're not, but that just means that we need to tweak it. That just means, something in the initial plan, the strategy, part of the root cause analysis, we need to do a deeper dive on that. Cool. That's part of the process.
Like a confidence tracker. Like, hey, maybe burpees aren't working for you, so let's do some jump squats. Jamie, come on. This is so freaking, y'all, are you getting value out of this? Because my mind just blown. Write some fire emojis in chat if you're getting value. Thank you for that, Jamie. That was really helpful. And thank you for that. I did see some questions come in. Hold on a second. Okay, you guys are chatting with each other. Okay. If anyone has a question, can you please copy and paste your question with the word question followed by your question? I love that you're all chatting together, but my eyes can't read as quickly as your fire fingers are going. Nicole, okay, I don't think that's a question. Hi, babe, I'll get back to that later. Holy moly, you guys are going crazy fast. Muscle memory. Okay, y'all are taking notes. Thank you guys for your engagement here. Thank you. I can't even keep up with the chat. You guys are rapid fire in here. And figure it out. Oh, okay. Parachute. Okay. Okay. We got fire. What works for someone doesn't work for someone else. Same. Okay. If there was a question in there that I missed, please plug it in the chat right now. Question first. I was just skimming to make sure I didn't miss anyone. Hi, beautiful Janice. Can't wait to watch the replay. She's just tuning in. Thanks for being here, love. Yeah, we're about at time. So I'll wait about 30 more seconds just to see if there's a question that came in from all of that. But I want to thank you, audience, for being here. And I'm really going to take a page out of Jamie's rule book and ask you to do something confident today. And maybe take a selfie of you watching this episode and tag Jamie and I. Share what you learned. Share what spoke to you. And, you know, of course, that's exposure for me and Jamie, but I want you to see it, right? Like that mindset shift is that you're being seen in your leadership. You're being seen in how you're taking action in the things you learn with soulful leaders like Jamie and I. And you guys know I don't just ask anyone to come on this show. I know every single person that's on here and they have something profound to offer. So I'm going to invite you all to do that, right? The confidence tracker, take a selfie. If you don't want to do a selfie, maybe just write your takeaway and tag the show. It's something I'm going to do as well. I'm going to do this too. My confidence tracker. I'm going to share what we're doing here.
But I would love to see from your audience what is your I statement, or your I, like Tiffany's now saying I selflessly serve. What is your guiding mantra? I would love to see that in the chat, or write it, type it, put it on a t-shirt. I've had that happen. And share it, because that's not for our benefit, that's for your benefit, because the more you're reinforcing that, the more you're stepping into it. Every year I choose a word, a phrase, and then I have a variety of them. And I actually set, I'll show you, alarms in my phone that go off like all day long, reminding me, I know you can't exactly see these, but reminding me of what my mantras are, what I stand for, and what I believe in, before someone or something else has the opportunity to interfere with it. I've got a pretty big life opportunity challenge coming up in a few weeks. And my mantra for it is I have grit and I give myself grace. And I know that to be true right now, when I'm calm and my amygdala is in check and my heart rate and my blood pressure, all, I'm in homeostasis. But when stuff starts getting tough, that's when sometimes we can compromise those things. But if you've got your statement right now, if you know your mantra, your power statement before going into it, and you can just reflect back on that, I have grit and I have grace, give myself grace, what will that do for your action?
Mic drop.
So tell us, ladies and any gentlemen that are joining us, what is your power statement? Because you will embody it. And the more you call it out, the more it's going to help you.
Even better. I love that. I blank.
You may start with I am worthy. I am worth it. And sometimes that's where you do have to start, depending on, I think somebody made the comment in the chat, it's different for everybody. It absolutely is. Everybody has a different starting point. The point is to have them start. So wherever that is, and for you, for anyone listening, if you're on the lower end of the spectrum with this, which is not a right or wrong, good or bad, it's just where you are, start with I am worth it. I am worth it. Rehearse it, say it, go outside, yell it, say it in your car, say it in the shower. Repetition is the mother of mastery. So get on it, because you are worth it.
Right. The confidence workout. I am worthy. I matter. I selflessly serve. I show up with grace and grit, and I'm going to get through life even when life be life in, like straight up. Yes. Oh, Jamie, this was so good. And so where can everyone follow you after? Where can we find LinkedIn? Where can we find your book? How can we stay in touch with you?
All the things. Yes. I would love to stay in touch. I would love to hear comments. You can find me on LinkedIn. Jamie Dandar McKinney is my LinkedIn handle. If you go to my website, jamiemckinney.com, you can either put in SUS after the .com, and that'll take you to my book if you want a signed copy of the book Speak Up Sister. I can also give you, I've got something called the Speak Like a Boss practice guide, which will give you a variety of this, not that phrases when you're in a meeting and you want to amplify your voice, or you've got some words in your head and you're thinking, should I, shouldn't I? This guide will give you exactly what to say and come across confidently. And so if you would like that, same thing, go to jamiemckinney.com and then /SLAB, which is the acronym for Speak Like a Boss, SLAB.
Speak like a boss.
And that is yours.
Yeah. Thank you, Jamie. This was So good. What a way to come back into the show after a couple week hiatus. I'm lit up.
Mhm.
I'm ready to go into a boardroom and close a deal. Like that's how lit up I am right now.
Your Liddy
Oh,
committee is alive and well. I love it. That's I love everything about your Liddy committee, Tiffany. That's amazing.
my lady committee is they're on fire right now. Like it's like
Mhm.
Wolf of Wall Street in the background. They're flipping. Anyway, this is about me. Oh, thank you, Claudia. Claudia is sending your website now. Thank you, Claudia,
Thank
and
you.
thank you all for being here, investing in yourself. Be seen in your confidence. Be seen in your leadership. We'll be back here next week, and just if you could leave not only your I statement, but just a really gracious gratitude note for Jamie. She has taken time out of her busy day to be with us. If you guys could just leave a greatest takeaway, a thank you note for her and tag her in the comments, it'd really go a long way for her and for me. So thank you all for being here. This wouldn't be possible without you guys. We love you. And Jamie, thanks for being here.
Oh, truly, truly my pleasure. Thank you, audience. Thank you, Tiffany.
Yay, we'll see you guys
Thanks to my
next
sister
week.
who's here too.
So many sisters.